I just want to tell you, when you are in these moments after you've sampled the product, the whole point of this challenge is for y'all to sample the product. That's the whole point of the challenge. Now, I'm not for that street life, but the Doughboys got one thing right. They got one thing right. You got to let them sample the product first, right? And my point is, this was a sample. So you now know what it takes. So if you aren't clear, then I need you to sit with this. Because now that you've sampled the product, you have to ask yourself, do I have what it takes to go all the way? Am I willing to keep going even though the scale ain't moved that much? Because this is what it takes.
Optimal health is not a privilege, it's a right. However, unfortunately, the overwhelming majority of health challenges today can be attributed to lifestyle. This includes our physical activity, the quality of our relationships, stress, purpose and fulfillment, and of course, our diet. But what if there was an alternative? What if we could prevent and combat these health challenges with lifestyle changes before pills and procedures? You are listening to the Plant Protocol Podcast with yours truly, plant-based health and business coach, and now the forever voice in your head, Lisa A. Smith. It's time to come get this health. Hey, podcast listener, it's Coach Lisa. We are quickly approaching our next Plant Protocol 30-day vegan, salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge. And in preparation for that challenge starting on July 1st, we thought it'd be cool to share with you some replays from some of our past challenge classes. In today's episode, you're going to hear a replay entitled, Do You Have What It Takes? And in this class, I'm explaining to individuals the importance of assessing whether or not you have what it takes to accomplish your health goals. But then also in this class, and even more importantly, you're going to hear one of our guest speakers during our last challenge. During this episode, you're going to hear from Alton, a gentleman who has had a phenomenal transformation from weight loss and heart disease and loads of medications to living a whole food plant-based lifestyle in optimal health and now running a business of his own focused on helping other people achieve similar success. Our challenges are super cool because you don't just hear from me, you hear from people like Alton and other individuals who have done the work, and you hear what it takes to do the work and to achieve great results. And so I really hope you hear what's possible for you as you're listening to Alton today. Enjoy.
I know a lot of you guys follow my podcast, and I have a podcast, the Plant Protocol Podcast. That's where a lot of you guys listen to me there. You allow me to yell at you all week through my podcast, but I have a private podcast as well that only members of my mastermind know about. My mastermind is called Clarity, and I have a private podcast that I record for our clients in Clarity. And this private podcast, I recently did an episode for them. And I rarely like to share what I teach in the mastermind because that's just a coveted community, right? But I wanted to share this with you guys today. So I recently recorded a private episode on our Clarity podcast. And I said something in that podcast and in that lesson that I think you guys need to hear today. So here's what happens. And this is what has happened over and over again and with a lot of you guys as well. Here's what happens. In the beginning, before the challenge starts, before Farm to Table starts, before our business accelerator starts, a lot of you, we talk to you in private conversations and you tell us about your goals and you tell us about your desires and you tell us about how you want to lose weight and you want to look in the mirror and love what you see, or you tell us about how you have a vision for really helping other people and you really want to start a coaching business. And you tell us, like, regardless of which one of our programs you guys apply for, we have these private conversations and you guys share with us what your desires are. Over and over again, you say, Lisa, I'm going to get off all these medications, or Lisa, the doctor's trying to tell me I need to be on medication and he got me messed up. I don't take medications. Lisa, I want to be optimal. Lisa, I've been listening to you on your podcast and I hear you talking about this radical obedience, and I am here for radical obedience. That's what I want to do. And you guys say this all the time. And in the conversations, I'm hyping, you hyping. And I'm like, you ready? That you like, yeah, let's get it. And then I'm like, okay, bet. Here's where you sign up. They like, that's all I needed to know. What day do we start? Okay, we start February 12th. I'm ready, Lisa. I'm ready. And so I say, you sure? And you say yes. And I say, you sure, sure. And you say yes. Take my money, take my time. Where do I need to be? Do I need to go out and buy anything? What time? I'm going to be on Zoom, my camera on. And I said, you sure? And they say, yeah. And then we get to week 3, approaching week 4 in a challenge like we are right now. And then things start happening. And then inevitably, things start getting a little difficult, and then things start getting a little unfamiliar, and then cravings kick in, and withdrawals kick in, and discomfort kicks in. And then, oh my God, here comes a birthday. Lord, here comes a holiday. Uh-oh, here comes a social gathering. Oh my God, Lisa done told me I need to go live on social media for my business, and I got to put my face on camera. Wait a minute. I got to put my voice on the mic. Wait a minute. And inevitably, we get to this week in the challenge. And I have to ask you the question, do you have what it takes? Because what happens is in that first initial conversation, like when you was listening to my podcast alone in your car, when I was in your ear while you was on the treadmill, you was like, yes, she's talking to me. I don't know if there's even any other listeners because she's talking directly to me. You email me, Lisa, get out of my head. And then you increase your proximity to me. And I tell you the protocol is no salt, no oil, no sugar. I tell you the protocol is no meat, no eggs, no dairy, no seafood. I tell you the protocol is meditation. I tell you the protocol is exercise with effort. I tell you the protocol is love. I tell you the protocol is purpose. And inevitably you get to hear, and I say, have you been doing all that? And you say, well, no, but I said, I thought you wanted to be off all the medication. I thought you wanted to be completely pain-free. I say, wait a minute. I thought you wanted a coaching business. You told me you was passionate. You told me you watching people in your church and in your sorority die slowly from this stuff and you wanted to help them. But I told you it's going to require you to get on camera. I told you it was going to require you to get on stage. I told you it was going to require you to have abstinence and not moderation. You told me before we started you wanted this. But now that we into the thick of things, you're not doing what I told you it requires. And so I have to ask you, do you have what it takes? And here's the problem. Most of us, when I ask you, do you have what it takes in the beginning, before we have started the protocol, you tell me yes. And I think y'all, as a professional, I need to stop asking this question so early because here's what I've learned. I've learned it is impossible to answer this question until you truly know what it takes. Don't answer the question, do you have what it takes, unless you're crystal clear on what it takes. So now that we're in week 3, now that we're in week 4, now that you 6 months into your business, you said you want to be radically obedient, but it's going to require you to be uncomfortable. It's going to require you to share parts of your story that you never shared before. It's going to require you to do hard things. It's going to require you to work on your 5 to 9 after a long day at your 9 to 5. So I have to now ask again, now that you have got a sample of what it takes, do you have what it takes? Because historically, we have answered this question prematurely. I say, oh, you want to be a business owner? Oh, you want to be an entrepreneur? Okay. You see me on camera every time and you see the accolades I'm getting and you see me on news stations and that's the part you want. Oh, you see me on stage. Okay. Do you think you got what it's? Oh, you want to be a leader? You want to make decisions that if it fails, you were responsible for? Are you ready for that? You want to lead people? Do you have what it takes? Because let me tell you, what has happened now is going to inevitably happen. What happens is people say they have what it takes to be healthy. Yes, Lisa, I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to go all the way. But then the world starts changing. The political climate starts changing. Unexpected things start happening. Pandemics come out of nowhere. The world shuts down and you can't touch or see your loved ones. And now it's the moment of truth. Do you have what it takes? The scale stops moving. The scale starts moving in the wrong direction. You get discouraged. You make something in the kitchen that didn't turn out right. And now you want to question everything. Do you have what it takes? Ooh, an unsolicited critique comes from someone that you trust and that you love. A partner, a boss, a doctor, a best friend. They tell you ain't do it like that. They start questioning what's really wrong with olive oil. Do you have what it takes? In that moment, when the critique comes up, when the judgment comes up, what happens when you start feeling excluded from things because you're not eating that, because you're not drinking that, because you got to go work on your business and you can't do the things you used to do because you have an assignment that requires your attention? Do you have what it takes in those moments? Because what I'm sick and tired of is you guys telling me, yes, yep. I've been listening to you. I've been watching you. I've been following you. And I want all that. I want everything you selling, Lisa. You selling me purpose. You selling freedom. You selling radical obedience. You selling optimal health. I'm trying to get all of that. But then it's crazy to me, y'all. We don't have the same amount of people on YouTube on day one that today. We don't have the same amount of show up rate in week 3 and 4. Do you have what it takes? So this is the question I need everybody to sit with in this moment and going forward, because I inevitably have to have the conversation with every single person that I'm having with y'all now. Are you sure you want this? Because this is what it takes. Am I talking to somebody? Was this for you? Have you got a taste of how hard it really is? Have you got a taste of the level of difficulty? Have you now at this point got a taste of the commitment that's going to be required for your assignment to come to fruition? Do you know what it's like to work in a business that's not generating revenue, but you only doing it because God told you to do it too until it starts generating revenue? Do you have what it takes to be a leader? Do you have what it takes to go into your family and tell them, like, we not eating that no more? Do you have what it takes? You say your husband is all meat and potatoes guy, but he got high cholesterol. He got high blood pressure. He got cancer. Like, do you have what it takes to stay strong? I just want to tell you, when you are in these moments after you've sampled the product, the whole point of this challenge is for y'all to sample the product. That's the whole point of the challenge. Now, I'm not for that street life, but the Doughboys got one thing right. They got one thing right. You got to let them sample the product first, right? And my point is, this was a sample. So you now know what it takes. So let me tell you what mine takes. Let me tell you what my assignment takes. Most of you guys know that my goal is to make Black history, right? Most of you guys know that I'm on track to extend the healthy life expectancy for people of color. So just to be clear, for me, where I'm going, it requires me to have discernment. It's going to take me being physically fit. It's going to take me having strong immunity. It's going to take me being crystal clear on who I am and what I stand for. Where I'm going, because I've seen what happened to people in the past who tried to make Black history, right? It's going to take me having clarity on my mission. It's going to take me having a strong relationship with God. It's going to take me being a good steward over my gifts and my talents and my blessings. It's going to take a good team. It's going to take integrity. It's going to take optimal health. I know what it takes. And over these last 10 years that I've been in business, every time I got evidence of what it's going to take, I said, got it. Let's get it. Oh, it's going to take that. Got it. Oh, it's going to take me turning down money sometimes because I'm not aligned with where it comes from. Got it. I think I'm strong enough to do that. It's going to take me letting people go because I don't think they vision and our vision is got it. I know what it takes. It's going to take me getting out of this relationship because they're not supporting me the way I need to be supported and my mind needs to be focused on the mission. Got it. Do you know what it takes? So if you aren't clear, then I need you to sit with this. Because now that you've sampled the product, you have to ask yourself, do I have what it takes to go all the way? Am I willing to keep going even though the scale ain't moved that much? Because this is what it takes.
When I first became vegan nearly a decade ago, I really thought I had did something. And I did. I mean, let's be honest. When you go your entire life eating animal products, giving up meat, eggs, dairy, and seafood is a big deal. And my health absolutely improved. It's helped me maintain over a 65-pound weight loss, absolutely no chronic conditions, no medications, and that is above average for someone at my age, my health. However, things didn't really go to the next level until several years later after becoming vegan that I decided to give up sugar completely. I didn't even know that sugar had such a negative impact on our bodies and our minds. But when I realized it and I decided to go cold turkey, it completely changed the game for me. I'm sharing this with you because it's not about just not eating animal products. This plant-based lifestyle really gets elevated when you take out all the things that are inflammatory, which is exactly what we do for our 30-day vegan SOS free challenge. We don't just remove animal products from your regimen. We also remove salt, oil, and sugar, which all are vegan. But why do we do that? Because our goal is to optimize your health. Our goal is to assist people who are dealing with chronic health challenges to get as close to remission as possible. And we will be doing you a disservice if we only remove the animal products, but we didn't address everything in your diet that could be potentially causing health problems. And I'm telling you this because not only should you already be registered for our next challenge starting July 1st for our summer 2025 challenge, but you should definitely be registered as a VIP because our final prep class coming up on June 26th is dedicated to how to combat a sugar addiction. And I am so excited because I am going to be joined by one of our Plant Protocol certified coaches, Coach Carmel. Coach Carmel specializes in how to combat a sugar addiction. She has a wonderful, super interesting story about her years-long relationship with sugar that she's going to share with you guys on June 26th during our prep class. And she's also going to reveal, and she told me this privately recently, that she's never really talked about this publicly because it's something that she's not super proud of. But she's going to reveal to us on June 26th the health challenge that many, many, many years of sugar addiction presented for her. And I'm telling you guys, it is super interesting. I'm super excited. And so if you're interested in hearing how to finally, once and for all, take back your power from sugar and how to set yourself up for success in our next 30-day vegan SOS salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge, then click the link in the show notes. Number one, make sure you're registered for the challenge. Bring all your friends and family with you because you're going to need that support and that accountability. But then make sure you move up to the front row. Upgrade to VIP because this final prep masterclass is happening on June 26th is for VIPs only. This is a VIP only prep class. Our last two was for everyone. This final one is for VIPs only. And we need to see you in the room. So please, please, please click the link in the show notes so that you are able to join us on Thursday, June 26th for our final prep class before we kick off this challenge on July 1st. Me and Carmel are going to be breaking down sugar and it's going to get juicy. Just wait. We hope to see you there. Now on with the show.
Shut my mic off, Key. Let's go to Alton. Coach Alton, because I was about to get emotional and that's when I have to shut myself up. So I'm sorry for the abrupt ending, but y'all, I need y'all to know how passionate I am about this stuff because we keep playing. We keep playing. Like we keep thinking this is a game. Like now more than ever, we are learning that we're going to have to build our own. We are going to have to be responsible for ourselves. We can no longer allow our lives and our livelihoods to be in the hand of someone else who has control. And so now if you have to build your own, if you have to be responsible for yourself, you got to be the best version of you. You have to be. If no alcohol is what it takes, it's no alcohol. If exercise when you don't feel like it is what it takes, it's exercise when you don't feel like it. If sitting down and putting your mind to something and creating something that you can generate revenue from for your business and for your family so that you can be safe is what it takes, you got to create. If writing the book is what it takes and you have to focus to write, that's what it takes. Like, I'm just so confused at how we let something like, well, one bad meal make us throw away the whole protocol. We let something like one bad day, we let stress at work to make us decide, forget it. I'm just going to stay average. I'm going to stay mediocre. I'm going to stay overweight. I'm going to stay medicated. I'm going to stay unhappy in a 9-to-5 because starting my own thing is just, it takes too much. Like, what are we doing? So now that you've sampled the product and you know what it takes, you know what's required, do you have what it takes? I'm not even inviting y'all to keep going. I'm just inviting y'all to ask yourself that question because this is what it takes. My protocol was not built for convenience. It was built for results. And when you get the results, there's no going back. So I felt like some of y'all needed to hear that this morning. I told that to my mastermind a week ago. We had a whole conversation about what it takes. And I felt like y'all needed to hear that too. So with that being said, we're going to transition over to our man, We're going to transition. Now, let me tell you something. If anybody knows what it takes, it's Alton. When I tell you he has a story that is insanely transformational, mind-blowing, and he is about to come up here and when I tell you guys, wait till you hear his story. Alton.
Hey.
Oh, he's coming on real fast. Alton. Let me tell y'all something about Alton and his passion. He like, hey, I love people that started real cool, Alton. That was nice. That was nice, sir. Okay, first of all, we're going to bring you up right. Kiwi, you ready?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let's bring my boy up right. Let's bring him up right. Let's
go.
Hey.
Okay.
I'll never try to hurt you.
Hey.
I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. Cause you're my black brother, strong brother, and there is no one above you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true.
Awesome. I cannot say thank you. I'm saying my thank you first for you get to waxing deep. For first of all, being willing to bless the audience and for being so transparent, even before we found each other, being so transparent publicly about your story. Like you have shared it multiple times on multiple platforms, multiple stages. And I just want to thank you for that because so many people, but especially our Black men, need to hear it. So I'm going to allow you to start off and tell your story where you started. You know, kind of where you are today, how you got there. And I'll come back in and we'll just do a fireside chat style and go back and forth. But I would love to people to know why you're here today.
Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. How's it going? How you all doing?
Yeah.
Good to be with you this morning. So let's get straight to it. My story is pretty remarkable when I think about it. I'm what I consider myself an unrepeated miracle. An unrepeated miracle, because several years ago, this was me. 293 pounds, big, fat, obese. You know, some people like to say big boned. No, I was obese. I was in a state of discomfort, and I was on these pills that I keep around as a reminder of where not to go back to. My doctor prescribed me 7 medications for life after suffering a heart attack. And that was supposed to make me feel good every morning, reaching up to the cabinet to take 7 horse pills. These wasn't no small pills. This is not an aspirin. These pills were huge. And that was supposed to make me feel good? Oh, no. So several years ago, while I was at school, the prestigious Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City, I was doing my studies in exhibition design. My background is in exhibition design, where I create how the look and feel of exhibitions look. That means how you flow into a space, how the artifacts look, what's the lighting, what's the font, what's the colors. So that's my background, what I'm trained to do. But I'm also trained to get rid of the threat because I'm a combat veteran. So when there's something threatening, my job, my training, my understanding is to get rid of the threat. So I went cold turkey. Some of you might not be there, but for me, because of getting rid of the threat and how I was trained in the military, in the Navy, I went cold turkey and threw everything out of my life. I just threw everything away. I said, because it wasn't making me feel good. I was 293 pounds. I had sleep apnea. I had chronic pain. I had asthma. I was borderline diabetes, whatever that means, borderline. I also had high cholesterol and a host of other things that was not working for me. So, of course, eating those double quarter pounders, you remember when they used to have the 2 for 2? Get you 2 quarter pounder, and had the nerve to say if you want to supersize the fry. So I was all in. Just filling myself up with nothing but clogged artery juice. And one day I had a heart attack. And that was the wake-up call for me. to get in gear, threw everything out. My cardiologist put me on those 7 medications. And I was like, I got to do something different. I told my doctor, I said, I'm going to take your prescriptions, but I'm going to also do something different. And we're going to have the dueling of the prescription, yours and nature's. And we're going to see who wins. So I took his medication because remember, I had a heart. I don't know how things are going to go. I've never been this way. I never know what it felt like, none of that kind of stuff. And I would go for my visits because if you know anything about heart attack, if you have a heart attack, you also have heart damage. Okay. And it takes a very obedient, radical obedience to really change the game for you. And I started just by juicing. I didn't know anything about nutrition, not if I'm hanging out at the drive-thru at 2 a.m. for 2 quarter pounders. So I didn't know anything about nutrition, but I knew that there were live foods in the earth. And I remember a book my grandmother used to have called Back to Eden. Y'all remember that book? You ever heard of it? Back to Eden. So I started thinking about that. So I went to the store and said, what am I going to eat? I said, you threw everything out. You got to do something different. And I started just getting stuff that looked alike. I figured if the colors were the same, since I'm trained as an exhibition designer, maybe we can create something. So I got everything green. I got a Granny Smith apple. I took some mint, some parsley, some kale, some cucumber. And I said, now, I got a lot of green, but I'm going to need a little something to sweeten this up. So I said, let's throw in some pineapple. And I started making that concoction. For over a year, I did that. And my numbers started to change. And my cardiologist was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, number one, respectfully, I stopped taking your chemicals because that ain't medicine. I researched one of your pills and one of them had 8 side effects. And you want me to be on this for life? I said, that didn't work. He said, well, let me tell you this. In my years of practicing cardiology for 30 years, you the only one that has reversed this. And I looked at him and I said, is that a cry for help or are you bragging? I said, why am I the only one? You've been doing this for 30 years and you just got one of me's? There should be an army of me's. But they don't get that sort of training. And I said, because you see that I lost 100 pounds, that I got off or I discontinued 7 medications, and I reversed heart disease, I need you to write a note because we're going to need some backup, some scientific backup for my program I'm about to do. And this is what he said. I have been caring for Alton for several years as his cardiologist. His story is inspirational. After he had a cardiac procedure, he was determined to improve his heart health through diet and exercise. Through his strict attention to exercise and eating a plant-based diet, he has successfully reversed his health challenges and lost over 100 pounds of weight. I am convinced, this is the part, I am convinced that his dietary program has helped him prolong and greatly enhance his cardiac wellness. I keep this. This goes in when I'm sending my packages out to my customers and working with them, they always have this note. So they know I'm not just doing this because I need something to do. I walk this walk, I talk this way, I embody this way because I had to be radically obedient in order to change and to see something different for myself. So if you out there and you got some challenges and you trying to figure out what you need to do, you got to do it radically.
Alton.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, it's the audacity for me. It's the audacity for me. Because what we know for sure, Alton, is that most people, like, they're at the helm of their healthcare provider. It's like whatever if they say I got to be on these pills, I got to be on these pills. If they say that this is for life, they said it runs in my family, so that must mean there's nothing I can do about it. They said I had a heart attack, and at this point, there's damage to my heart. And to us, that sounds like irreparable, right?
Right.
And so it's the audacity for me. What gave you the audacity to say, I'm not taking your medicine, I'm going to try nature's medicine? Like, where did that come from?
Only thing I can attribute that to is from up above.
Mm.
It's the intelligence, my connection, things that I download from up above without even being able to articulate it. Because I always tell people, just think about it. We are so intelligent. And I'm not talking about us up in the brain. I'm talking about when we were being created. You didn't have the liver, a cell, an atom, a molecule trying to go be a heart. Everybody knew their assignment. So we got to understand we are intelligent before we even know we're intelligent. So that's where the audacity is downloaded from up above while being.
Ooh, okay. Now let's take it one step further since we waxing deep. And now many people, they get the download. So tell me, what did it take to be obedient to it? Because a lot of us are told what to do. A lot of us are here because we got the download. We got the message to like, I need to move in a different direction. But then we get it and something happens or something doesn't happen. And we run back to the devil we know. We run back to comfort. We run back to disobedience. So once you got the download, what got you to keep drinking that doggone juice for a year?
My mind. I had to believe that beyond a shadow of doubt, that nothing else that I already tried had worked for me. So this was all I got. All I got is this juice. Like I tell people, I don't have a B plan. So my A plan gotta work. I gotta push it. I gotta do everything. You know what I'm saying? I said, so it was the belief. And one of the things I start with when I'm talking to clients on coaching them, you got to believe. We start with the mindset. You got to believe it's attainable. You got to believe that you can do it. You got to believe you and see yourself already healthy. I said, but because we have been told no and no one believes in us, that we take that on and we think everything else is a no.
It's got to work or it's got to work.
Right.
Okay. So, Alton, you had this phenomenal transformation. How much weight did you lose?
100 pounds.
Period. How many medications are you on today?
None.
And how many did you start with?
7.
Listen, now you done took this and you done pivoted this into a whole business. Now you talked about your clients. Talk to us about how you juicing for yourself turned into a whole business. Because you also didn't have to go out and be like, I want to help other people do this. And I want to do the hard, painstakingly difficult work of becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it was very hard. So the business started during the pandemic because like I had a heart attack before the pandemic. So I was already doing stuff and trying to figure out, what my diet was, what my meals are going to be like, coming up with different creation. So then when the pandemic happened, I saw that we were all trying to boost our immune. And I said, sure, I got a juice for that. Let's start showing people. And people began to chime in. They would begin to climb on in and watch and see that I was creating these juices to help boost our immune. Because we didn't know. We were all just trying to stay alive, right? Because every day we heard 1,000 people die. And I just started doing that. And I said, wow. And as I was doing the juices in December of 2020, I was like, you doing the juices, but it don't seem official. But once I slapped the label on it, it brought it into the physical realm. And everybody was like, where can I get that? Where can I get that? And the rest is history.
Let's go. Okay, so you took your transformation and turned it into a whole business, but more importantly, a whole ministry to help other people, Alton. And now today, so what's the name of your juice business?
Cellful, CELLFUL.
Yeah, Cellful.
Which is a play on soul food, but cell food.
I love it. Okay. So we're going to give y'all the link to that. Now, talk to them about now you're a student inside of the Plant Protocol, our business accelerator.
Oh, yeah.
What made you want to increase your proximity to the people you help? Instead of just sending them juices, now you say, you know what? I want to add a coaching segment onto our business. Talk to us about why you felt the need to do that.
I felt the need to do it because I felt that I needed more tools. I needed more system. I needed more understanding of how can I package this so that my reach is even furthermore. Yeah,
Mm.
people are coming for juices, but they're bio juice, and that's all you have for them. How do you keep them there so that they see the results that they are going for? And that's what I tell people. I said, I don't need you to come to me for one juice. You don't need one juice for me. I said, you can go to Whole Foods and get that. I'm trying to get you to change, to transform from being on medication so that you have a better way of being and showing up in the world, and so that you can stand in your brilliance. You're not
Yes.
going to do that being on diabetes medication. Because one thing I know about being in the military, there are no sick soldiers on the battlefield. We are trained and battle ready. So if you got a purpose out in this world, but you're on medications, you're not ready for your assignment because there are
Yeah.
no sick soldiers on the battlefield.
Ooh.
Because you can't fight if your ankles are swollen and looking like fire hydrants. You can't fight if you're on diabetes and you dancing to the commercial for A1C. You can't fight if you got an asthma pump, because what you gonna do? You can't carry no rifle. So you got to do something different, people. You got to do something different, and you
Listen,
can do it.
So you compromised the whole mission when you compromised.
Yeah. The whole mission is compromised because we got a soldier that's going to drag us back. So the enemy's going to find us because you lagging behind because you in the side taking your pills.
Yeah, because you can't resist a quarter pounder.
Yeah.
No self-control. We're not here to be judgmental. Okay, Alton, I want to just ask 2 final questions. You said with your clients, you realize that the most important thing is to start with belief. Can you tell me, what do you believe is maybe 1 or 2 primary things that people believe that you know is wrong? Like, what's a major belief that needs to change for people to do this successfully?
Well, one belief, you got to stop believing that because it's in your family line, that you're going to be with it forever. People tell me that all the time. And I told them, you know what the difference is between it being hereditary and you having a life that is free from sickness? I say your lifestyle determines if that switch comes on or off. I said, you make that decision. That don't come because it's in the family. I said, so someone in the family got to be able to break a generational curse. So you walking around here taking all the stuff the genie gives you, you got to be able to break a curse. Why can't it start with you? But you got to believe that it's doable for you. You got to believe that you can overcome. You got to believe that what I'm doing is not working for me, so I need to transition and do something different. Your doctor don't make that decision for you. And some of y'all got to push back on your doctors. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Their goal is to give you medication.
Wow. Okay. So before I ask my final question, Kiwi, you got a question?
I sure do. Just give me a second. You want me to ask mine first?
Yep, please.
Hey, Alton, first of all, brother, I'm so proud. Let me put myself back on camera. I'm moving around, y'all. But first of all, congratulations, sir. What you're doing. You said Army of Me's. And I just wanted to ask the question, do you have a team right now to really push this juice?
I don't.
Okay.
It's me, and I use the people that are attached to me in my circles
I'll be
to
reaching
do
out to
everything.
I'll be reaching out to you. More people need to know about your juice. The first thing I did, I went on the site, read everything. You say you need an Army of Me's. You actually put it out there.
Yeah.
What you manifested is there needs to be an army of yous, period.
Exactly.
So we're going to give you some people. So I'm praying right now that you get exactly what you asked for, an army of yous. So I got some people in my pocket, including myself, that want to
appreciate it.
All right.
I love it. Yes.
I love it. Look at that. Y'all better quit playing with us. Y'all better quit playing with us. Listen, we extend life, we grow businesses, we help marriages. The whole website changing. We do more than what we thought. Okay, here's my last question, Alton. Can you specifically talk to the men today? Right. So we know that typically in like experiences like this, in the challenge, or even in our coaching programs, you know, it is like a lot of women, and sometimes their men come along and sometimes they come along kicking and screaming. Right. And we need y'all. Like we need y'all, and we need y'all to be as healthy as long as possible for us, for the sake of our families, for the sake of your personal well-being. So can you speak to the men lastly, and speak to them about how important this, just from a man's perspective, how important was this for you? What did you run up against in the world of other men doing this? And what do they need to hear to move the needle for themselves?
Well, for the brothers that are out there, one of the things you got to know is that you got to be able to carry your family name forward. A lot of brothers are out there and they're not even operating at their maximum because you're not healthy. You got a lot of brothers that are walking around and you don't know if they having triplets or elephant. Your stomach is too big. You are carrying too much of excess weight and waste material. We got to face some realities, okay? And I tell men all the time that come, I say, if you want to do this, you can do this, but you got to be willing to do the work. And doing the work requires that you change, requires that possibly that you're going to have to stop eating some stuff that hasn't been working in you. Mm-hmm. A lot of you on high blood pressure. A lot of y'all have dysfunction, okay, with your private parts. You know, I tell people all the time, when the last time you said hello to the different parts of your body that gave you so much pleasure, okay? But it ain't working for you, brother. So you got to do something different. You got to do something different, and you can do it if you're willing to do the work. Being on statins, beta blockers, aspirins, Lipitor, none of those are going to work for you. That's just here just to treat you, okay? And if you're about being ahead and being battle ready, you got to be able to get rid of the threat. This is something threatening to your family. Your family needs you. So I'm telling you to do the work.
Excellent. Excellent message. You got to be battle ready. You got to get rid of the threat. That was my favorite part. Like, most of us don't see disease and obesity as a threat.
Threat.
Oh, that's so good, Alton. Alton, tell them one more time the name of the juice company.
Yes, so Cell4 Organics is the name of my cold pressed juice company that started out during the pandemic. And my business is here because I'm in service to others, because I want other people to experience the same thing I did, was discontinuing that medication, losing the weight so that you're at a healthy weight, and reversing whatever health or disease challenge you got going on in your body.
Yeah, and surviving a major event. Some of them have already had heart attacks and strokes and are dealing with erectile dysfunction. And so coming back from that as strong as you have, like, it's the biggest testimony ever. And so I just want to thank you for being obedient to the calling to start the juice company, to tell your story. And then we're about to get your coaching business and take it to the next, like, it's happening. Yeah. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for being here today, Alton.
Take care. Thanks, everybody.
This was so good. Did y'all enjoy Alton today? Y'all, please show him some love. This was absolutely amazing. A wonderful way to start wrapping up this challenge.
You know, I believe Shakespeare got it wrong. He said to be or not to be. That is the question. But I believe the real question is, do you have what it takes? I'm hoping that after listening to this episode, you really spend some time to consider, what all does my goals require of me? Have I been doing some of the things or all of the things to achieve my health goals? If you know you've been doing some of the things, but you need help with doing the rest, then please click the link in the show notes. Get registered for our next 30-day vegan, salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge. Number 1, to learn what it takes. And then number 2, to prove to yourself that you have what it takes. You tuned in today because, like me, you refuse to let your good become the enemy of your great. You're not settling for good health when optimal is well within reach. If you're ready to go from good to great, visit LisaAngelsmith.com to learn more about our plant-based health coaching program, Farm to Table, and our plant-based business accelerator and coaching certification. But before you go, if you enjoyed what you heard today, please consider rating and reviewing this podcast. Until next time, remember, radical obedience is still undefeated. Stay obedient.